I lost the game audio. Oh, every single time. Every time. Okay, sorry for saturating the audio, saturating the mic right there. Every time it's more. Like that time it was up to 89. Last time it was up to 86. I set the gain to 73, it doesn't save. Okay. That's just because there was something in my Windows settings that had OBS muted as an audio output or something. But it's not a huge deal, it's just the typical Danganronpa music. It would be way worse if I lost my voice. So, I still really don't know what's going on. I mean, there's some obvious things, right? The whole plot line, the whole conflict with Rei and Mikako has to come to a head and then resolve somehow at some point, right? It has to go somewhere. Right now, Rei's at a point where she doesn't think there's any more knowledge to obtain. There's no way for her to escape the kidnappers. She thinks she's had by the Nads, metaphorically. I know she doesn't have Nads, metaphorically. And they're going to do whatever with her that they want, and there's nothing that she can do about it, and she's humiliated. And this is making her mad, obviously. And she thinks Mikako might know something that could help her. But Rei, I forgot what her last name is already, which is silly. What is Rei's last name? Where's my paperwork? Ah, there we go. Makaru, right? Okay. Rei Makaru is impatient. And so she can't really do things like try to, she just gets frustrated with Mikako. Even though Mikako has this crippling condition that she has for some reason, she doesn't try to work through that, she just kind of gets frustrated with her. So at some point that's gonna climax, that frustration that Rei has with Mikako, because she has no patience. And eventually we're going to figure out what the problem is with Mikako, why she can't talk, and why she gets hypertension every time in certain situations. A very, very extreme hypertension. The reason why she has dark circles around her eyes may not actually be makeup. It might be, or like a character's design thing. They might do like the kind of the Uchikoshi trick where suddenly you get a plot, something has a sci-fi explanation, or something becomes relevant to the plot, not just artistic, that you thought was previously artistic. She has like bruising around her eyes all the time because she has high blood pressure. Anyway, so that's gotta come to some head. Would that come to a head through the trial? You would think that neither of those two could be the victim, because that would have to. That'd be a weird way to resolve that. It's hard to resolve that way. Mikako can't die because we need to have what's up with her explained. And it's really hard to explain that if she's dead. Kisaragi Yamato seems to have the same problem as Mikako does, but it seems like he's figured out a way to work around it a little more. Like, Mikako just doesn't talk. Kisaragi seems to talk in riddles, where somehow if you by talking in riddles, the condition where you get the hypertension seems to be if you're straightforward, right? Where Mikako can talk, but talk generally, it seems, but it's way worse when she talks. But there's still a little bit of a problem when she talks in a specific way that's very helpful. That's when the condition really kicks in. Yamato seems to be avoiding that by just not saying things that are super helpful. And if he wants to, he tries to be cryptic. or kind of talks nonsense and pretends to be insane. It's not clear if he's actually insane, or not he's tries the same condition as Mikako, and he's trying to work around that by acting insane. If you get what I mean. Some people are going to think I'm insane, because they're not going to understand what I was trying to say there. So we'll figure that out. It also makes it unlikely for Rei to be the victim, because this thing can't resolve if Rei's the victim as well. So that still kind of leaves behind Kinjo, Akane, Teruya, and Yamato to be people that could die. And I feel like because we're already in Chapter 5, Teruya is already through. He's a merchant, right? He's already through. He doesn't have to worry about dying anymore. He's survived his plot. And Akane seems already through as well, although less so than Teruya, which makes it so that Kinjo is almost guaranteed to die. You could say, yeah, we might as well kill him off. The killer maybe in Chapter 5 is thinking, he's not dead, but he's going to be a vegetable. So if I'm going to kill somebody, I might as well kill the vegetable. And that's how that's going to happen. So that suggests that he's the victim, because how is the vegetable supposed to commit the murder? So who would be the person who kills the vegetable? None of them is a really good candidate. The one that I said that I didn't rule out some way was Yamato. But, it's interesting. Something that also, I thought a little bit about is the prevalence of the demonstration of super high school level talent and how that relates to Mikako. Maki did not display her super high school level talent in game, but the mastermind did suggest that when they tried to implement their plan, Maki gave them a whole bunch of trouble. Well, she's a super high school level sniper. I would presume that she would somehow use her ultimate talent to give him trouble, give the mastermind trouble. Perhaps. But it may not necessarily be that. She might have given the mastermind trouble a different way. We don't know. But it doesn't really demonstrate it in game. With Higa, the soccer player, yes, it was. He used his aptitude to kick balls accurately to complete the setup for the obfuscation of what happened during his murder. So he's demonstrated his super high school level talent. Tomori has not demonstrated her talent directly. However, she might have demonstrated a stereotype, maybe in Korean culture or something, I don't know, of the personality of a cheerleader. I'm not sure about that. And I could have accidentally insulted cheerleaders by saying that, but not directly. In fact, somewhat anti-directly. She was like an anti-cheerleader. Hatano, she had the opportunity to run and train and such a little bit, but her super high school level talent was only demonstrated in this kind of backwards way, where the way she injured herself would be a way that was specifically an impediment to her exercising her super high school level talent. It would be like it was a worse thing for her than it would be for anything else, because it directly impacted her talent. So she wanted to injure herself in a way that it would be not very believable that she would injure herself that way. So in order to do that, she tried to make it as worse for her, make it particularly bad for her. So kind of. But not directly, right? It's not like she used her athletic talent to do something. It's more like she did something that would affect her a certain way that was relevant to her talent. Yamaguchi did not demonstrate his talent. He had this weird personality change where he went into his lawyer form, But in the trials, when he took on the Slayer form, he didn't actually demonstrate very good expertise of being a lawyer. He was kind of irrelevant to all of the discussions in these trials. It really just didn't matter. Inori, she wasn't actually delivered an injury to treat that where it actually mattered in the end. If you know what I mean. She tried to do some first aid on Hatano's injury, but it didn't actually matter in the end, really. She was able to spill the beads on its severity, though. Not that Hatano wouldn't want that to happen, because that was the whole point, is that the beads would be spilled on its severity. She just kind of acted it, right? It's like, she wanted to act like she was trying to hide how severe it was, but her plan involved it eventually leaking. Let's see here. Kinji. He didn't demonstrate his super high skill level talent in that he acted as a priest. However, the motivation, the backstory and motivation for why he committed the murder had to do with him being a priest. But they could have made it differently, like he was the owner of an orphanage or something. They could have modified it, but they made his super high skill level talent is somewhat related to his motivation. They worked it in, even if it wasn't unique to his super high skill level talent. But it wasn't demonstrated directly. Kobashikawa. He never flew a plane. However, his being a pilot is somewhat related to his interest in antique planes, which is somewhat related to his interest in antique war instruments, which is somewhat related to his interest in antique guns, which had some relevance to how he performed the planned victimhood that he performed. It's very indirect, though. I want to say Izumi. What's her name? Iranami. Oh, yeah. Okay. Iranami Satsuki. She demonstrates her super high skill level talent. Her super high skill level talent is part of her personality, really. And so she's demonstrating it constantly as part of her personality. So, what point was I trying to make there? Kind of none. Its Linju allows the characters to demonstrate their super high skill level talents to varying degrees on and off. It doesn't seem like it's required that they demonstrate it or demonstrate it very directly. That's not on his list of check boxes to check. Nonetheless, Mikako's is very interesting. When I first started, very early in the game, when I saw her give that speech to Akane, which was something like, no, if this is not, Hatano would not want you to kill herself. She died specifically to save you so that you would not die. It would not order her for you to kill yourself because that's specifically the thing that she didn't want to happen. She specifically did not want you to die. That was her purpose. When she gave that speech, it seemed like, oh, I understand what Mikako is now and what her talent is. She's not literally an exorcist. She is someone who is very, very good at resolving people problems. She's somewhat like a very good and unique therapist. So much so that she may have somehow got given the title almost like a nickname, The Exorcist. Right? Because she was just so good that it's like she was an exorcist. That being said, she does have some weird things in her backstory, because apparently she's used to going without food, and she's also used to staying up all night, and she's also used to not sleeping. She's got some funny story going on here, and her free time events did not reveal it. So there might be actually something more, and I wonder how that's related to the mastermind. related to why she keeps approaching Yamato over and over again with the intent to do something that keeps getting stifled by her condition. It's like she wants to perform an exorcism on him and she can't because she keeps getting ramming into a wall. And why she's so wise, generally. It's possible that she's much older than a high school kid ordinarily would be. It gets kind of... I want to see if Leiju... I would be really excited if Leiju would actually expand on that and see what's going on there. But he might leave it forever down, I don't know. Anyway. I'm down to one save file I keep repeatedly using. Am I supposed to sleep or am I supposed to go somewhere? I forget. I'm supposed to sleep, I guess. Okay. My text extractor is not attached. So I cannot actually get this. Come on. Okay. Chimde. So I'm going to try to like guess based on the very limited knowledge of Korean I have. Sengak is something to do with school or teaching. Nan is I. Chimde is bed. I don't know. So something to do with the bed. I assume it has to do with getting the bed or something. Okay, now I can... Why did it not... No. What did I do?
Danganronpa.
Sorry about that. I still can't read this. Let's see if I'll finally resolve my problem. Oh, okay. Phew. Okay. We lost a couple lines there, but I'll continue. I don't want to do it anymore. It feels like the hope that Iranami gave us and our resolve has all gone to waste. I have no clue about the they call it the dark side, but I'm just going to call it the dark side because Google Translate translates it into. Of course, they would probably call it the mastermind in an English translation. And even my friend is in critical condition. Will working harder make any difference? Chungmar, which is Charmang, not Chungmar, Charmang, which is just in despair. Encroaching upon. It shouldn't be like this. I know it can't be done, but... Hello. It's morning. It's 7 a.m. It's time to wake up. Live this day energetically, or whatever. Yes, and remember in the English translation it was rise and shine or sign. I don't want to get up. But if I don't keep moving like this, I feel like there will be no turning back. So Otori is outside. Maeda. My forehead? Okay, let's... get Google Translate on this. Come out in a hurry. Come out now. Otori. Otori says, what happened? Can you understand? Or do you not understand? Or do you not know? Something like that. What's going on? I was just about to go to the restaurant. No, you weren't. You went back in the bed. Isn't that because you are worried? Worried? Kinjo ended up like that, right? Moreover, our relationship with Mikaru has become sour. Everyone thought what? And no, it's just everyone thought it would be a big shock. So maybe it's like, I thought you would be in a big shock or something. I'm worried about the other kids too. I'm most worried about Maeda. After all, wasn't Kinjo the closest person to you? More so, weren't you the one who was the closest to Kinjo? Is that how it looks to other people? Well, I think Kinjo treated me quite friendly. Is that right? Your facial expression wasn't funny when Kinjo was like... was your facial expression not funny when Kinjo was like that? It looked like you were about to follow Kinjo and commit suicide. I didn't do anything like that. I know, I'm kidding. For that reason, I came to check on your condition this morning. I think I did well. Haven't I been thinking... Have you been thinking only bad thoughts since yesterday? Don't tear me down to build yourself up, Teruya. Should it show up on my face so easily? Maeda, wake up. If you give up, we'll all be in trouble. Otori, you gotta chapter 6 this. It's not my time, Otori. Chapter 6 has not yet come. I know it's not like me to do something like this, I presume. Rather than trying to punish someone, I'm the type of person who would rather give up on myself first. But I think if Kobashikawa was alive at a time like this, he would have acted exactly like I'm doing now. Do you know what I mean? Force yourself to smile and say something stupid. I don't know if it's an encouragement. Go wet your face with cold water and come to your senses. I'll be waiting at the restaurant first. Well, thanks for wasting my time, Otori. It's hard to sleep. If you want to cry like always, call your father's name and swear in despair like you always did to Kobashikawa. Whoa. I'm clenching my teeth and holding on. I'm clenching my teeth and trying to maintain Kobashikawa's will. Not only Otori, but also Taira and Mekaru. The only one who was intimidated is me. Keep your mind straight, Yuki Maeda. The truth is not far away. There are no endless events. Just believe in the possibility that you can do it and don't give up. Because that's all I can do. Morning. Here we go. Ah, Kurukawa. Stuff's about to go down. I don't know if I'm going to like it or not, but I don't have to experience it. It's fiction. Maeda. Hello? Sleep well? Where are you going? The 5th floor. To investigate. The way she treated me and the way she spoke was the usual Kurokawa, but I feel she is wary of me. It's not just me. Kurokawa has been in this state ever since she ran away to her room. Kinjo. Is he okay? How did it happen? I don't know the exact details either. Since there is no danger to his life, all I can do is hope that he wakes up safely. In fact, the situation was so desperate that Monokuma said he might become a vegetable. It's not a good cause to it's not good to cause unnecessary worry. Wait, so you just kind of lied? What's more important than that is Kurokawa. She's more plot important. We were feeling uncomfortable with each other all day long, and Kinjo's accident happened, so I completely forgot about it. It was clear that Kurokawa knew something. Maybe it's because I've calmed down, but now I understand Mikaru's feelings. In the current situation, where all breakthroughs are blocked and there is no ray of hope, Kurokawa may know something, including about the Kisaragi Foundation. Is her existence is her existence the only clue? Kurokawa. Hey. This is like Mura, which is like what, right? No, it's I don't know. Interesting. I didn't say anything yet. I don't know anything. Do something to me. But it's like objected. So it's kind of weird out of context. I thought I could hear it. Some sort of memory wipe thing. Like, she should know something, but there's a memory wipe problem. But she's the one who can tell. Okay, but still, I thought I could hear it. But I don't. So that, I'm typing this into Google Translate because I need to break it apart. I mean, probably I didn't say anything, but it could be you didn't say anything. And she responded with, I don't know, without you saying anything. It doesn't, so, stop doubting me. I can't say anything. I can't tell you anything. Wow, I'm glad the sound I managed to figure out how to get the sound back in this video. Well, oh! The mastermind within the protag came out. Annoying. Kurokawa, do you know our situation now? Maeda? Let's not do this. We are colleagues who have been investigating together for a long time. What kind of information are you trying to keep secret so stubbornly? Go away. I don't know. How many times? I'm telling you. The last hope we have left is you, Kurokawa. I want you to at least tell me the reason why you are stretching it out like that. You're looking at us funny now? Maeda, for a moment, in a hopeless situation, everyone is still trying to stay bright. In order to not give up, because I feel like I will despair if I let my guard down even a little. If you know something, tell me. Not saying anything in the situation will be treating us like complete fools. Am I wrong? Please say something. Maeda. Don't pretend to not know. It's annoying. Either you know it all and you're playing with us, or you're planning to abandon us now. Answer me, Kurokawa. Maeda. Pain. Huh? I am now, so I Chikum, which is now, what do I do? Or what did I do? Kuru, do not approach. Kurokawa, wait a minute. What did I do? It's not Kurokawa's fault that we're in this situation. Also, blaming Kurokawa for not telling me something just puts all the blame on Kurokawa. Even though I knew, I said such harsh things to Kurokawa. Chigir. Something is like a cuss, okay? Why do things happen like this? Let's have breakfast first and investigate. Everyone will be at the restaurant. Okay, can't follow her. Because of Kurokawa, my heart, which had finally calmed down, begins to tremble again. It shouldn't be like this. Everyone's doing their best, but I can't be the only one falling into despair. Let's control my emotions and make sure to apologize to Kurokawa next time. Everyone is doing their best. Let's take it easy and think about it and think that everything will be okay. Shinjo will wake up without any trouble, and I will be able to find a clue. As brightly as possible. I went in. Good morning, guys. And there's no one there. Why is it paused? Oh, okay. Why was there like a black screen? It was like, I thought it was going to be like a murder or something. Alright, so let's see quickly. Let's go investigate. Yes, of course, but Maeda-kun seems somewhat motivated. That's right. Is that right? We have a Karu who's just sitting there, though, which is unusual. Isn't that a good thing? It's 100 times better than being saggy. To me, it looks like you're trying to force it. That's not true, but it is true, though. By the way, I thought Makaro, you wouldn't be here, but we're having a meal together again. Don't be funny. It's just that I came to the restaurant late, and the breakfast timing, my breakfast timing coincides with yours. If I go at your pace, I'll never get out of here. Still, we decided to cooperate for now. Now that Kinjo is in that shape, we'll have to hurry even more. You come to your senses and listen to me carefully. Back to cooperation. Really? I thought Rei-chan would definitely go out of her way to become angry and never talk to us again. Why did all of the characters talk to her like that? Why? Don't get me wrong. Once you hit a wall, there are limits to what you can do alone. So all you can do is cooperate. Ooh. Oh. Until a little while ago, I only heard information about Makaru, but now it's different. Let's join forces to investigate without knowing anything. It was amazing. I just didn't let despair consume me and didn't give up, and even if it was just a little bit, something good happened. Kinjo didn't wake up, Kurokawa didn't confess, and we didn't discover any clues. But it was definitely a good thing that we could work together again. Maeda-kun, why are you smiling all of a sudden? It's nothing. I'm just happy for some reason. What are you saying, you moody guy? After finishing our meal, we decided to assume that we would do next. Assume what we would do next before investigating again. Assume what we do next is investigate or not, what? Now that we know that all the information we have obtained so far has been useless, we must gather new information from now on. It's not useless. New information? But to round things up a bit, it's already been a month since we've been trapped here. We've only done this much research so far. I wonder if we can find something by researching from now. It's like, it's already been a month and we only got this. What more can we get? Of course, it's hard. So first of all, we need to pick out certain information. Over there, or there. Oh wait, are you okay? What are you talking about? No, that's right. This is the surveillance cameras. That's probably right. Now that I think about it, yeah. What should I do? Should we go to Rei-chan's room? I wouldn't use my... Would I use my room anymore? Don't worry, you idiots. Do you not think I had prepared something? It's probably what I was supposed to say. But of course, because the spaces aren't between the words, Google Translate doesn't know how to which syllables to allocate to which words. So it comes out, and don't worry, you idiots. I don't think my wife has prepared anything. Yeah, you fools, do you worry? Do you not think I've prepared something? Is probably what it should be. Or do you think I've not prepared anything? After saying that, Makaru took out a crude switch with several circuits intertwined from her pocket and showed it to me. What is this? It's a mobile version of the jamming that I used in my room as well. You can turn a room into a blind spot with just the press of a button by sending a jamming wave to the nearest camera. You're amazing. I'm surprised, but... Rei-chan is surprised, but you don't really fit in as a super high school level. Or... Don't you fit in as a super high school level inventor? How do you make something like that? You have to invent something. There are a lot of you don't have to invent something. There are a lot of parts here and there, and even if you only understand the principles of cameras and listening devices, you can make it at the level of a university group assignment. Anyway, it's at the university level. We're high school students. Anyway, we can talk about it freely. So, is she a professor of electrical engineering? We now is that what we finally figured out what she's a professor of? And is that in they call it applied electromagnetics, which is essentially antennas and microwave networks. Of course, it won't last long because Monokuma will notice soon, and magnetic recording and all that stuff. Then, let's go back to what we're talking about. You said we had to start with clear information or new information? As I said, or as Tyra said, there are no clues left in the building anymore. No matter how hard you search, you won't find anything additional. So from now on, I have no choice but to pick out the clues that are considered certain and go all in on them. Which clues, basically? First of all, I mentioned this several times. What does Kurokawa know? Or there is something Kurokawa knows. Michako-chan was mentioned. That woman might know the whole story of this incident we are caught up in. She would know important information. But for some reason, she doesn't tell us. I tried to cling tenaciously to get out of here, but she just keeps avoiding us more and more. I felt the same way when I met Kurokawa a little while before coming to the restaurant. It hurts my heart that I ended up saying harsh things to Kurokawa out of impatience. But for now, let's focus on thinking of a solution. At this point, you might think that it's not that she won't tell us, but that she really can't tell us. In any case, relying on that woman can no longer be considered a vain effort. Then, how can there be anyone who knows something other than this? Which, it's not a question, and I gotta figure out how to break it apart. Only the first part's a question. So what? There's no way there's anyone else who knows something. That's better. Is that right? Yeah? That's the powder you're still eating for breakfast right over there. Oh, that guy was still eating breakfast over there. Okay. Sarama Hisaraki-kun? Of course not. It's almost certain that Kisaragi Foundation is involved in this it's more like, of course. It's almost certain that Kisaragi Foundation is involved in this incident, and that guy is from the Kisaragi family. But his head is so turned, he can't even have a conversation. You guys can't have a serious conversation with that guy? It's just that his language skills are strange, but in my opinion, he's perfectly normal and can communicate. I think I can understand a little bit too. But if he really might know something, and if his memory loss is involved, like Makaru said, which, if we don't try to do it with sincerity, nothing will change. So we have to, we have to consider all possibilities? Kind of bad grammar. Do we not have to? But do we not have to is considered contracted usually to don't we have to? That's right. So let's put aside Kurokawa Mikako for a moment and try to hear something from that guy first. It's like beside Kurokawa Mikako, who's on peak alert or whatever. Mekaru. What does he say to Mekaru? Will you be executed immediately? Something like, are you going to do it right away as soon as you say it? Yes. Why not? There is no time. In the first place, the jamming spheric camera says its limits, and we have to move as soon as possible. We have to stop moving as soon as possible. So, I don't know if you hear or heard us. He's Mr. Kisaraki Yamato. Should we talk for a moment? Aye. Are you listening? Mekaru? What? Maeda? Taira? Otori? What? Are you... what? Kisaragi-kun? What are you feeling, I presume? Mekaru Mikako. What's happening all of a sudden? What are you saying? I got to copy this one out. Where is Mikako? I don't know. You suddenly started screaming. Mikako? Is he talking about Kurokawa? As for Kurokawa, I met her a little while ago. She said she was going to the 5th floor to investigate. Oops. What? Kisaragi-kun did he seem to have suddenly become normal? Grab. It's hard to tell what he's trying to say. I am also good, but like handwriting, but the Gursi doesn't seem to make any sense. Go translate to handwriting. Go after that guy right now. Why, Mekaru? Just do it! So... That's not what Google Translate said. That's probably what it is actually, though. Don't talk nonsense and hurry. Something. I feel uneasy about something. Car is feeling uneasy. Kisaragi suddenly becomes strange. Or he's already strange. What is it? Is this a sign of something? Figured out the sign, we decided to chase after Kisaragi. Yes, it's a sign that Mikako could be dead. That's what it is. Kisaragi must have gone to meet Kurukawa. Kurukawa said she was going to investigate the 5th floor. So, should she be there, or must she be there? Looks like everyone left first. I have to hurry too. Okay. Time to discover a body. Kinjo, Kisaragi, and Mikako are the 3 outstanding. Not looking good for Mikako. At the beginning of this episode, I didn't think they would kill her off because she has plot stuff that cannot be resolved, right? Her story needs to be finished, and it's not. So they can't kill her off yet. But what happened just now suggests that she's to be killed off. But who would kill her besides Kinjo? No one's, left to kill her. She was just alive. Did you find Kisaragi? Mayarika and that. Is clearly a blood stain. That's fresh. Was the original floor covered in blood? No. It was not the dried blood that had been covered from the beginning. It was warm blood that looked like it had been spilled not long ago. I see which one they're talking about. A slightly darker pink. I noticed that Linju here didn't use red blood for old dried blood, like Trigger Happy Havoc. The old blood was red. Is it a lie? Or it's something like, I can't believe it. No way. I'm sure it's not like that. Kinji already used up all the blood packets in the blood transfusion packets in the health room. There is a blood trail leading from the laboratory to the records room below. It's not a blood stain that was originally on the floor. It's a blood stain that just appeared. What are you talking about? Don't run away from reality. You all know this, right? No matter how you think about it, there's only one. The blood that one of us shed. What else could there be? Drained out of a dead body that didn't lose a lot of blood when they got murdered. Sorry, I hit the microphone. So, which one's dead? Did Kisaragi just get wiped out in a really short amount of time? Is Kinjo dead? Which would be interesting. Or Mikako got killed by Kinjo. This is the problem. This is the big problem with this, okay? The only characters we know of around that are not surrounding the protag and that were in the restaurant for a significant amount of time, it would appear, like a few sentences worth before the protag shows up in the restaurant, I forgot what I was going. I forgot how I started that sentence. Rei, Taira, Teruya, they're all here, right? So that means Kinjo, Kisaragi, and Mikako are the only 3 that could be killed, because the rest are just right here and not killed. They would have to be killed. The only one of those 3 that would not have been killed extremely recently, super recently, is Kinjo. If Mikako or Kisaragi were killed, they both would have to been killed right now. Kisaragi would have to been killed really, really right now, right? Immediately, on the dot. Mikako, not necessarily super immediately, but still really close immediately. And if she was killed by Kisaragi, he would have to done it right now, immediately. This makes it really hard for Kisaragi to be the victim or the culprit, because he had to show up on this floor and immediately kill someone, or show up on this floor and immediately get killed. That's not very Danganronpa-like. So that kind of leaves Kinjo and Mikako. But Kinjo's like a vegetable. So it's either he can't kill, so he can only be killed, and he couldn't really be killed by Kisaragi. And then if he was killed, it allows any of them to do it, because he could have been killed a long time ago. But they have to have dragged his body up to the 5th floor from the 1st floor to do it. This is getting interesting and weird. And Mikako seems kind of safe, because she could have only been killed by what's his name? Kisaragi. And he just immediately showed up. But there's something going against her in that Kisaragi seems to maybe have a telepathic link with Mikako and had a feeling she was dead. Like he knew. That's the problem. Medical. It is a word used in times like this that it becomes dark before my... I don't know what that means, but I get the point. Darkness before my eyes. The execution of Uranami is something I thought would never happen again. Has a murder occurred? Sort of like a rhetorical question. Also, does that mean that we should... mean that this will this will progress into another class trial where someone dies and the culprit needs to be identified? Don't be funny, damn it. Maeda-kun. Our first priority is to understand the situation. Oh, Tori. Go to the nurse's office on the 1st floor and check if Kinjo is okay. Maeda and Taira, investigate the 5th floor. Okay. If you look at the bloodstains, it seems like something happened in the laboratory and records room, so let's go look there first. Taira, go to laboratory. Maeda, follow me to the records room. I got it. The floor is sticky. It seems like all this blood is flowing from the records room. I don't know the owner of this blood, but if they spilled this much, they're dead. You also better be prepared. Like, they're gonna be in pieces. We have a cuss. I want to believe that it can't be like that. Over the past few days, we had strengthened our resolve after receiving hope from Uranami. Therefore, I thought and believed that no more murders would occur. This is actually getting to me. This is having an effect on me, because I don't know if you want to call it an anime crush or whatever you want to call it. I really, really, really don't want Mikako to die. Like, this would actually, like, and get the fictional character. This would make me feel something. It has to be our mistake. When did the 4 murders that have occurred so far come without warning? Or when did the 4 murders that come so far came with warning? None of them did, that's the point. Murder always comes suddenly and without warning. Death comes unexpectedly. We were letting our guard down without any basis for thinking that no more murders would happen. Anyway, I need to know what happened. But when I thought about it, it wasn't that I couldn't go into the records room. You need a password. Oh, this is how this is coming about. That's right. It's probably a password that only the Kisaragi Foundation officials know. Then doesn't that mean that the person who started the revolt couldn't enter the records room? Could this blood be forged like in the Yamaguchi case and that the accident actually occurred somewhere else? If you think about it normally, it's unreasonable. I'm trying to think. So, would Mikako know the password? It's possible. But they would have dragged the body. Oh my goodness. Here's the rub with this. Say they find Kinjo's body chopped to pieces inside this room, right? They would think that it would have to be Kisaragi who did it. It would have to be Yamato who did it because he's the only one who would know how to get into that room. However, it's never that obvious, so it wouldn't be him. So I mean, someone knows the password, it's not him. But why don't you think again about it? Who we chased to get to this floor? Right, she's saying Yamato. That's Kisaragi. Ah. Kisaragi Yamato. I still don't know if Otori properly checked on Kinjo, but if Kinjo is safe, then the only 2 who aren't here right now. She said she was going to the 5th floor to investigate Kurukawa. He was chasing after Kurukawa. It wouldn't, in my opinion, it wouldn't be surprising if both of them knew the password to the records room. In any case, there is a high possibility that this blood belongs to one of those 2 people. No way. No way. Because that would be more likely to be Kurokawa. What should I do? How can we open the door? Remember what Monokuma said? When the 5th floor was just opened? If someone is already in the records room, it will not open even if you enter the correct password. Right, they have to come out. If those 2 were locked in the records room, one of them could have held the door for the other one. It never resolved that problem, or one of them is dead. And they can't go in. So I think she's basically just saying if those 2 are locked in the records room, the story would be serious. Or it would be an emergency. This is an emergency. Monokuma. Hey, Monokuma, come out. Thank you for calling me. If you call me, I am Mr. Monokuma, who will crawl out and run to you anytime, anywhere. Monokuma, open this door right now. If something serious might happen inside, we could use... You said you'd help in emergency or something. You said that you'd open it if it was an emergency or something like that. I don't know. I don't remember if you said that or not. You probably know what happened anyway. Oh, well, what happened? Well, of course, I should know. But it's a bit difficult to listen to Maeda-kun's request. Why? I don't know the password either. What? I don't know the password. Moreover, as far as the records room is concerned, coercive power within the ship does not work at all. Even I, no matter what I am, can't open the door. It's not that I... Go translates like, it's not that I can't open it, it's that I can't open it. What is this? Someone among us might be bleeding to death in there right now. And we can't do anything? Yeah, still the current situation is quite tense, and if a murder case has occurred and we cannot even enter the scene, it will become a ridiculous hoax. I'll give you a hint. The fact that this is not the only door leading to the records room. Not the only door? No way. Is it there? Nakaru has already noticed something. That's it. You don't need my help anymore. The sight you're about to see. I'm already looking forward to how much despair it'll drive you all into. What the heck? It looks like the finale isn't far away. Cheer up. Monokuma, that witch, is treating us like fools. Maeda, ignore that guy and follow me right away. There might be a way to get into the records room. Really? Where are you going? That other door. You'll find out. You have to hurry, run. It's the door on the other side of floor 5. Oh, we're at the ballroom. Now, I don't understand this. The ballroom? Why are you here all of a sudden? Be quiet. If I think about this right. Carl, why don't you explain it to me? No, just go. Go. This is the door in the back of the ballroom. A white cloth was hung on a railing over the center part of the dance hall. As if someone had climbed upwards. My prediction was correct. The door slightly visible above is probably the door leading to the records room. How did you know at once? Geometry! When I was trapped in the ballroom, I was constantly worried. I wonder if the door up there connected to the 5th floor. Ricardo escaped from the ballroom and the floor opened, but there was no room on the floor that led to the other side, on the 5th floor that led... Huh, wait. Why didn't they... Okay, I see this door before, but why didn't someone do this before and go to the 5th floor? After escaping the ballroom, that floor opened. But there was no room anywhere on that floor that led to this door, the other side of this door. Okay. Except for the one records room that hadn't been opened yet. That's right. But This door. What do you mean? It must mean that there was someone who entered the records room one step ahead of us. Let's not worry about the little things for now. Let's check the inside of the records room. Where are you going? Come up quickly. That's kind of non-trivial. Like, I have a hard time with that kind of thing. Because I'm weak. But anyway. I think I probably could do a rope climb. It's not like I can't, but it's difficult. We don't have any time, so let's go right in. This is not... There might be an image of someone lying bleeding. Maybe they've already become a dead body. I have to be prepared. Because I can no longer stop in despair, or fall, or whatever, despair. Nothing can prepare you for the Chapter 5 murder scene. Whatever it's gonna be. We're gonna stretch it out a little more. Here is the records room. It's just like the ballroom. Munia, which is door. So, door. Or it's a door. This really looks like the records room. Nakaru. Is there a strange smell? Did you notice it too? A trace of gunpowder. The smell of blood. It was the energy of death. The energy of death that I haven't experienced before. Beyond this gate, or this door, the energy of death is frightening and is overwhelming us with a powerful force. But there is no option not to open the door. Something had already been spilled. I can't run away anymore. Reality. I had no choice but to face it. Here we go. Eek. Oh, there's another line. When I opened the door, there was a sealed staircase. As I jumped up the very short stairs, 2 steps at a time, in a few seconds I saw a door with a sign saying, emergency grilling. Just emergency exit, probably, written on it. As we opened the door, the mechanical gray fluorescent lights greeted us. She's not dead. Okay, phew. Well, this is very Remember 11-like. Spoilers for that if you haven't played it. So, why did she do what she did, though? I presume she did not kill Yamato. But why is there... First of all, why isn't there any blood on the knife she's holding? That's weird. That's not very Remember 11-like. And why'd she cover herself in the blood? It's like, I was going to say, why'd she stab the body? But, like, there's no blood on the knife. Mikako Kurokawa is standing with blood all over her body. The body of the super high school level inventor, Kisaragi Yamato, who is no longer breathing, had appeared. Well, he was my most likely to die. I mean... besides Kinjo. But here's the ridiculous part. He just ran. Like, this is a super short time frame. Kurokawa? New sprite. Eh? You feel like you got caught red-bodied? What did you do? Here we go. A body has been discovered! We will hold the class trial in a certain amount of time. Sa-che. Ya-ma-to-kun. Kurokawa, what happened? How did this happen? Kisaragi's body, Kisaragi's death. Bloody Kurokawa. I was so confused that I couldn't even remember how much time had passed. I only remember briefly that Taira and Otori came running after hearing the announcement of the discovery of the body, and that we told them how to enter the ballroom since they couldn't come in through the front door. And now everyone is gathered in the records room. Except for Kinjo, who'd lost consciousness. All the survivors who survived the murder school life to date have been killed. Have not been killed. So, huh? Oh, her sprite just turns back to non-bloody somehow. Mikako-chan. You just... Something like, are you okay? Let me try to break this apart. Did you just clean up the bloody thing? I don't know. Google Translate says, did you just clean up the bloody thing and it's okay? But that doesn't make any sense. So I don't know what that's supposed to be. It's okay? Something like, go to sleep. It's not time to say things like this. He's dying. He's dead. Kisaragi. It doesn't, and it means that the culprit, does that mean the culprit is among us? According to Otori, there was nothing wrong with Kinjo. Well, he could have woken up, did a murder, and then just pretended to just go back to sleep. Well, he's in such a desperate situation. It's a miracle he's even able to open his eyes. Oh, so he opened his eyes. In other words, the only thing that could commit the murder is here. The only person to commit the murder had to be here. The fifth floor, 5 people. So Ray's just rolling out Kinjo. The number of people breathing in this large building. Well, Kinjo's breathing. What's among such a small number of people? There is a culprit. But look. Maeda-kun, Otori-kun, Rei-chan, and I. All 4 of us have been together since this morning. And Kisaragi-kun was alive. We've all been together since the last time we saw Kisaragi. Everyone knows the last person... knows who the last person that Kisaragi met was. And crucially, Kurokawa is alone at the crime scene, and her entire body is covered in blood. There's nothing more to see. There's no need for a class trial, don't you think? Be quiet, Otori. I don't know about that until I investigate. This is Danganronpa. It's not as bad as Ace Attorney, but still things aren't quite that simple in Chapter 5. You could say the twist is that the obvious answer is correct and they're just overthinking it the whole time, but Leiju kinda did that with Chapter 4 with the culprit confessing right at the start of the trial. Because it's not too late to do something like that in a class trial. What? But look straight at reality. No matter who the culprit is, it doesn't change the fact that the murder occurred. Then it's her turn to appear. That girl? Did you call me? Oh. Then it's Monokuma's turn to appear. That guy. Now that y'all calm down, can we get started? Monokuma? Yes, as expected. I did not betray this time. I put a lot of effort into this motive, so... What if the murder... something like, what if the murder didn't happen was an explanation point. It's a bit difficult, but it turned out as I hoped. The endorphins have started flowing. I hope you like it. What on earth do you think about people's lives? Kisaragi-kun, it hasn't been long since we met him. He's definitely a classmate like us. But before we became really close friends. Or before we could. Why are you mad at me? I'm not the one who killed him. Friends? It's a friendship that makes me cry. Or something, as it already, I don't know. Some sort of evil thing to say. As if it's already happened. It's like, friendship makes you cry as if it's already happened, or something like that. What you should do now is not shed tears while mourning the death of your friend, but rather uncover the truth of the incident and punish the culprit. They're just wasted water is all they are, and they won't make flowers grow. In that case, as expected. Thud. I'll give you the Monokuma file number 5. Investigate diligently, investigate again, and clear the class trial. We have to do that again? Horrible trial again? We can't run away. This is just the beginning. We cannot stop here. There's something strange about it. Good, but there's something strange about it. Yes? Monokuma. I mean, for some reason, it doesn't seem like... Does it seem like you're rushing to do something different from usual? What? I missed my car. If Mr. Karo felt that way, it might be so. Well, it doesn't change the fact that the murder occurred. Then, anyways, I will call you to the court after the scheduled investigation time. Be fully prepared. Wait, did he intentionally try to frame Kurokawa, just like Trigger Happy Havoc? Something about skipping layers. As Monokuma said, there's nothing we can do since it's already happened. Let's. You don't have time to stop here. You can't run away. If you made up your mind when you left the ballroom, you'll realize it by now. We will never give in to despair. Ray-chan. Why are you like this? Why is it like I said? Well, it's good anyway. It already happened. We can't turn back time. As everyone says, we can't stop. We no longer give in to despair. The uncertainty and anxiety over the words still did not go away, but we decided to fight against despair again in order to win the class trial that was right in front of us. Kisaragi. His body was in such a state that I couldn't bear to open my eyes. The chest was so badly damaged, the internal organs were clearly visible. It looked as if he had been hit by a bomb. Obviously, we didn't know much about him. Even if I wanted to know, proper conversation was impossible due to brain abnormalities, and the time we spent together was ridiculously short. However, according to Makaru's hypothesis, there was a possibility that Kisaragi was also our friend, but we just do not remember it. And even if that was not the case, it's hard to react indifferently to the death of someone with whom you had some close connection. Kisaragi. I wanted to know a little more about you. Come to think of it, the last time we saw Kisaragi in the restaurant, he seemed to be in a different state, albeit briefly. No, the case comes first now. Let's put all the doubts aside or we'll die. First, as always, let's check the Monokuma file. Victim was Kisaragi Yamato. Estimated time of death was approximately 8:30 a.m. The cause of death was a shock due to laceration of the chest. A huge hole is opened in the chest. No other injuries were found. Huge hole. Is this the end? Of course, the Monokuma file is little information, but this one is especially terse. First, let's summarize the information that can be confirmed with just this. Time of death, 8:30. It was roughly 8:15 when we left the restaurant to look for Kisaragi in Kurokawa. It can be said that there was no contradiction in time, but it was really short though. The problem is that someone killed Kisaragi in a minute or so after leaving the restaurant. Don't be suspicious. As Makaru said, it's not too late to do something like that in a class trial. As it seems so obvious, there's a high possibility that there are facts that we do not know. We must overthink. Other than that, only a brief signature was written, and not even an object presumed to be a weapon was written. Right, there's no, yep. If you think about it in reverse, the weapon itself may have a lot to do with the incident. It's something to do with gunpowder, right? That's right, we already know from experience. Since the time of death itself was a trick. He created a Monokuma file that hid the estimated time of death. Here the weapon is a trick, so he made a Monokuma file that omitted the weapon. Is that enough for now? There won't be any weapons that will make your heart sink. I don't know what you meant by that, but there's something weapon that will explode your heart. Let's focus on investigating that. Monokuma number files added to the notebook. Go right to it. Kisaragi's corpse. Kisaragi's dead face, with his eyes open and empty, had the appearance of a high school student, no different from us. The handsome face with distinct features was so straight that you wouldn't think there was anything wrong with the brain. First of all, I can't figure out anything just by looking at what's in the Monokuma file. I guess I should do some research. Kisaragi's body was more severely damaged than the deaths of the friends we had seen so far. If you look at that, rarely appeared in splatter movies so cruel that it made you feel nauseous just looking at it. I don't know what that means, but we shouldn't look away. Let's make up our minds and investigate everything we can. As written in the Monokuma file, the flesh on my chest was completely crushed. It's so scary that I don't know how to describe it, but this is what it feels like to be exposed to dynamite or a grenade at close range. Is this what it feels like? Of course, if that were to happen in reality, not just my heart, but my entire body would be blown away. In Kisaragi's case, the damage to his chest was so severe, but the rest of his body was fine. Even in the Monokuma file, it said there were no other injuries other than to the chest. The problem is, I have no idea what method would be used to create a scar like this. Since the ballroom is still open, you can think of it as one of the many weapons in the armory. Wouldn't it be impossible to explode a chest so elaborately with something like a bomb? Wouldn't it be impossible to explode a chest so elaborately with something like a bomb? However, the time of the crime was too short for it to have been done with great care. Anyway, what is certain is that Kisaragi died from these wounds, and there are no other injuries. Let's talk to everyone at the class trial. As of now, I don't think there's any way to guess any further. Hole in the chest. Bloody cart in the corner. Isn't this something that's in the science lab? It definitely looks like something I saw in the lab. The fact that the cart was so bloody. Was it used to transport the body? It's big enough to carry one person, although it may be a bit difficult. It seems like you can climb upstairs if you lift the handle. Actually, I was worried about it a little while ago, but there was blood splattered on the floor hallway. It turns out that if the body came into the recording room through the ballroom, would it have been possible to transport the body there without shedding a single drop of blood? Right, it would have to be transported. Basically, there was no blood in the ballroom. And you'd have to go up like a vertical, right? So there's a lot of things that made it hard to transport the body through the ballroom. You'd have to transport it through the door. But it required a password. I always thought of it, it was strange, but it's not impossible to use this card, or is it? No, because we don't know exactly where Kisaragi died. If he died after entering the records room, blood might not matter. But there was still blood all over the hallway, though. If you think about it that way, the fact that this cart in the records room means that it climbed up the railing of the ballroom? It doesn't make sense. There's more and more confusion in my head. Anyway, the fact that there was a cart and there was blood on it means that I was involved in the incident in some way. Let's check it. Okay. The cart. Can I get the blood stains? The knife. This knife was definitely the kitchen knife that Kurokawa was holding when the body was discovered. Oops, I hit the microphone. Was it really Kurokawa? Kurokawa killed Kisaragi using this knife? Why Kurokawa? Before asking this question, I first felt a sense of discomfort from the knife. Right, there's no blood on it, is that correct? The Monokuma file I read a while ago didn't say that there were no other injuries other than the chest wound. It was clearly written that way. Plus, just a quick look at the corpse right in front of me, there was no trace of a kitchen knife being used anywhere. It's not just the body. When I look at, again, the kitchen knife itself is in clean condition without a single drop of blood on it. So what is it? The kitchen knife is simply camouflage? No, why was Kurokawa holding a kitchen knife in the first place? You start to think about it, and she didn't go into the kitchen to get the knife. We would have seen that. Think about it, it can't be done. You'll continue to feel bad about Kurokawa. You shouldn't be caught up in the prejudice until you go to trial. Didn't you fully realize this after experiencing trials before? 4 trials before? Kurokawa wouldn't have been holding a kitchen knife for no reason. Let's keep that in mind. Okay. We cannot get... Okay, we can't get to Kurokawa. Let's talk to Ray first, though. Maeda, are you okay? Also listen, are you okay? Yeah, it's okay, but why? I talked to Kurokawa. Did you talk to Kurokawa? Mikako? No. She still looks bad, or something. To be honest, looking at the method of death, I can't think of anyone other than Kurokawa as the culprit of this incident. Well, it was Mikaru who said that we wouldn't know until we looked into it. So they say there's an erasure method. I guess that might work. I guess we should investigate it. How to look through it. The victim, Yamato Kisaragi, ran out to look for Mikako Kurokawa while we all gathered together. We were together until we found her body. Well... Teruya stepped out, but he went down the stairs. We saw him go that direction, and the bloodstains were already there. By the time we got to the hallway, something had already happened. The fifth floor hallway, something had already happened. Yeah, as far as it goes. Otori went to see Kinjo, and Taira went to check the lab. Question. I did something. But it's impossible for them to break up with us and commit murder at that time. Even before that, the hallway on the first floor was already covered in blood. Right? Kinjo. Otori said that he was safe. Even though he was unconscious rather than safe, it cannot be said that he is involved in the crime. Right, in the end, what Otori said just now is wrong. But there is nothing wrong with it. The only person capable of committing the crime is Mikako Kurokawa. Or not, well... If you think about it up to this point, there are two possibilities. The first one is that Mikako Kurokawa is really the culprit. Someone other than Kurokawa Mikako is putting all the doubt on Kurokawa Mikako and laughing behind our back. It's the second one. This was all planned? It's actually a bit vague, and there is no certainty for either of them. The incident itself is so abnormal that we'll need to investigate further. Yeah. One thing I can say for sure is the only one without an alibi is Mikako Kurokawa. No alibi. So does that mean that it's meaningless to consider the case's alibis? If someone other than Kurokawa is the culprit, it means that he has been walking around with us and committing crimes. Anyway, let's investigate further. Thank you, Mikaru. I didn't tell you anything properly, so why be thankful? Now I'm going to pinch myself more than I can imagine and investigate. Each person's alibi. Hey, Maeda-kun, I have something to tell you. Yes, Taira, what is it? Have you figured out something? No, I'm not saying I figured it out, but I'm thinking of telling it to Ray-chan a little later. Why did Ray-chan tell me to go check the lab? There were lumps. What do you mean pieces of flesh? So there's pieces of flesh in the lab? I don't know, but chunks of flesh the size of 2 human fists were thrown down along with a huge pool of blood. I was so shocked that I sat down and almost fainted. I tried to come to my senses and let you know, but my Anakin and Ray-chan had already gone somewhere. Wait a minute, what do you mean by bloody lumps of flesh? Could it really be related to Kisaragi's death? Yes. I've noticed it now. Among us, the only one who was injured is Kisaragi-kun, who is dead. But that doesn't mean Kisaragi-kun died in the laboratory. But doesn't that mean Kisaragi-kun died in the laboratory? I don't know for sure, but at least I'm sure the culprit did something in the lab. Tara, I found out an important clue. Oh, Tara, you found an important clue. If you look at it it's all thanks to Ray-chan who instructed me to go to the lab. Then I'll tell the other kids about this too. The records room already had many restrictions, so I was wondering about the place where Kisaragi died. If what Tyra says is true, there's a possibility that Kisaragi was murdered somewhere else and then moved to the records room. But they have to have moved, he still would have had to have been moved through the password door. First of all, since Tyra informed us, let's go to the laboratory a little later and check the scene. Okay, so this is the way out. Records room entrance door. If we were to enter the ballroom normally and go through the ballroom, this would be the normal passageway connecting to the floor hallway. Oh. This doesn't open from this side either? The records room door has a password, so unless you know the password, it seems impossible to open it from the inside or the outside. Also, according to Monokuma, he cannot open the records room himself. In other words, even if we enter the password since we're here, it won't open. Here's something, I don't get it, but here's something that's odd. So, if 2 people, someone is in the records room, it won't open. So it could not open from the inside just because it doesn't open from the inside ever because you have to be in it to open it from the inside. But if you weren't in it, could you open it from the inside? How would you do that? I don't know. Makaru. The other kids don't know, but you and I do. You can go in alone, but if 2 or more people try to go in at the same time, the bulkhead comes down and blocks them. That's right, I didn't even mention that when we were reporting the investigation. I think the place where I'm standing right now is where the bulkhead comes down. Well, then you should hurry up and step away. What if the wall suddenly comes down and you get hurt? Some nonsense. Monokuma did not do the same. In any case, the bulkhead is lowered only after entering the password. It is safe now. What is more important now is the structure of the records room. Only one person can enter. This fact itself can have a huge impact on the case. How is that? Is that so? There is no need to worry too much about the records room. Is there not much to worry about the records room entrance door? We don't know the password anyway, and we can only enter through the ballroom. If the prime suspect and victim weren't those 2 people... What? It's a big deal. Anyway, it's good to remember the rules for entering and exiting the records room. You can only enter the records room alone. It won't open when someone is there. If 3 or 2 people enter at the same time, the bulkhead comes down. Remember it because I have to explain it to the other guys. That means you'd explain it to me too. Anyway. Mikaru, is that not okay? Remember, I got it. It would be nice to have a records room since I could access it to the records room. You could access it to the dance hall. If you listen to Mikaru's words, it seems like the records room will be a more important place than you would think. Let's remember it. I didn't pick up very much of that very well. So I guess if you entered through the ballroom, you couldn't enter with the password. If someone was already in there by entering through the ballroom. So you could get 2 people in, but if they went in 2 ways, the first person would have to enter the password and the second person would have to enter through the ballroom. I have to use arrow keys. Okay. One more, I think. Kurokawa. When Mikaru discovered the body, Kurokawa was standing in front of Kisaragi holding a kitchen knife, her entire body covered in blood, as if a murder scene had been discovered. After that, Kurokawa didn't say a word. What happened? What is the truth? Did Kurokawa commit a murder? In red text. Maeda. Why is it like this? What I want to say. I know. What? Because I know. Please don't ask me anything now. While saying that, Kurokawa handed me a small notebook. What is this? Yamato. Kisaragi had this note. Eh? When I looked through the notebook Kurokawa gave me, I found one page with a number written on it among the countless blank pages. 0430. Kurokawa, no way. Don't ask me anything. That's right, but Kurokawa was also found at the time of the body's discovery. Please. Please don't ask now. Nothing. Since she was about to face a life-threatening class trial and she was probably in the center of the incident, I tried to rush her somehow or something. Even with Kurokawa's expression like that, I couldn't help but feel bad for her. Or not even because of it. Still, this number that Kurokawa delivered to me. No matter how much you think about it, if this number is related to the current situation, it's probably for the password for the record room? I think Kurokawa left us a great clue. Let's check the password later and continue the investigation for now. I would have guessed that the second floor was connected to the records room. I don't know what 2 floors had to do with it, but whatever. The same goes to the other side, and how would the culprit know about this? Well, Mikaru noticed it right away, so it might not be that strange. Maybe Mikaru is the culprit? I'm just kidding. I've grown up now. It's true that my child won't do anything rash. I gotta talk to Ray about the password, don't I? This definitely isn't everything. There's something we don't know and we have to find it. Oh, okay. We attached the cloth to the railing so we could go upstairs. Because there was this cloth, we were able to enter the record room. The second cloth had already been installed. The cloth had already been installed when Mikaru first entered the recording room into the ballroom. Then, of course, the colonel must have installed it. I felt it when I first came up, but it was tied really tightly. Well, yeah, because people are hanging their weight off of it. Not only that, I think I've touched this texture a lot somewhere. Anyway, we can't go in and out of the recording room without this cloth, so I'll be careful not to break it. Something about this texture is important, I guess. It is highly likely the person who installed this cloth is the culprit. With that alone, itself is great evidence. Let's check it out. White cloth of the ballroom is recorded in the notebook. I think I've researched everything around the recording room now. Even though I desperately searched, I found very little. Should I say that this incident itself is somehow strange and makes me feel uncomfortable? Yes, someone got killed. It's not like that the 4 murders that happened earlier felt normal, but something felt different compared to the one that happened the first 4. The same type of dialogue that was being said by Makoto Naegi in the 5th case of True Happy Havoc. Something about this one felt different. I have no choice but to complain. Monokuma hasn't aired yet, so there's still time left. Or maybe I don't have to... I have other things I can do besides complain. It might be the opposite. Monokuma doesn't say we ran out of time. Come to think of it, I heard something from Tyra. There's lumps of flesh in the lab. First, let's check that with my own eyes. Oh, it just teleports me there? It really was like how Tyra said. It was full of blood. It's severe. This isn't at the lab, in the lab. This is the door to the lab. Is this lumps of flesh that Tyra was talking about? Just as Tyra said, a large lump of flesh the size of 2 human fists was rolling around covered in blood. It was so messy that it was hard to tell which part it was. It looked like a piece of meat before it was prepared at a butcher shop. It's terrible. I wanted to stop thinking right away and get out of here, but this lump of flesh might be related to the incident. We have to investigate as far as we can. The chunk of flesh was badly damaged, as if it had been crushed and squeezed with force. It was covered in something like dust, and it made me wonder what purpose it had been rolled for. Come to think of it, the bloodstains on the hallway of the 5th floor were from the laboratory to the records room. Right now, just this lump of flesh with bloodstains is outside the laboratory. In that case, the bloodstains in the hallway may have flowed from the corpse itself, not from the fallen flesh. Why did the criminal do such a terrible thing? Disguise the body as if it had been moved? But even if the post-processing is sloppy, it is too sloppy for that to be the case. Initially, the records room where the body was discovered was too clean to believe a murder had occurred. As I had guessed while talking with Tyra, the thought grew that Kisaragi might actually have been murdered in this laboratory. But it would have been, you're saying it's, but moving it would be too obvious, so why would they do that? There's something near the lump of flesh. What is this? It was similar to the smoke bomb used in the Kobashikawa incident. Bomb. Could this be the weapon that killed Kisaragi? Makaru said it's not that easy. Makaru just shows up. Makaru, are you also in the lab? Could I not come and get a report from Tyra about the lab? Isn't that why you came too? Or did you get the... Oh, that's right. But that's not it. I know... Mikaru, do you know what this bomb is? You can't call it a bomb. It's a gas bomb. That's it. Should we accurately call it an anesthetic gas that causes temporary numbness? We could accurately call it an anesthetic gas that causes temporary numbness. Anesthetic gas? More like makes you go limp gas. It's a type of nerve gas, but it's not that harmful to the body. It's a grenade-shaped gas, so it seems like it was made for military purposes, but the gas itself is also used in medicine. That's right. How'd you know? Because I know everything. I am Ray Makaru. I'm not stupid. It's all written there. Even if it's written, it's all in English. I feel like if I say any more, I'll only get insulted. Anyway, this anesthetic gas. It must have been... Was it used by the criminal? Or must have? That's right, because there are a lot of bombs like this in the arsenal. Did he use it to neutralize Kisaragi and then manipulate the incident to suit his trick? But I still don't get it. Well, that aside, it's time to go to court. Have you found out anything? It's ambiguous. Considering the condition of the flesh, I guess the blood stains in the hallway came from this lump of flesh. Did not come from this lump of flesh, but from the body itself. I don't know why it made it so complicated. That's right, I feel like I'm feeling very uncomfortable. So did they drag the lump of flesh or did they drag the body? Okay. It's not unreasonable. I feel the same too. Mikaru, did you investigate inside there? I was just investigating to see if there was anything. I was just checking to see if the chunk of flesh belonged to Kisaragi Yamato. How can we confirm this? Think about it. The bodies of those who have died until now are stored in the lab. The bodies of those who have died until now are stored in the laboratory, are they not? Isn't there a possibility there's a piece of flesh cut from there? No. No way. You checked every body, Mikaru? Ah. Fortunately, there was no sign that someone had touched it. It probably belongs to Kisaragi Yamato. Other than that, what should I say about the dead friend? What? What, are you going to sue me for desecrating a corpse? If we don't find out the truth now, will we not end up as corpses? No. I have no time to vent, because I am arguing with you for no reason. It's not like me to vent my anger. Mikaru's conditioned from the beginning. And now, as expected, Mikaru doesn't know much about this incident. No, I think I found a crucial clue. Really? You think you know who the culprit is? I don't understand. Okay, this is going to be hard. grab this. And then space, ellipses, space, 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 period, space, 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 ellipses, space, space. Okay. Well, I can say I don't understand it. Should I say that it feels like I just figured out the answer without even knowing the answer? It feels like I found it out, but I didn't find out. What are you talking about? Look closely at the bottom of the flesh and you will see writing. Writing? What is this? Mikako, written in katakana. It's a message written in blood. But this is Mikako? Okay, if we turn it 180 degrees and we flip it, let me try to write it backwards, because you're right, it says Mikako, but okay, me when you flip it just like me. That's like C4 and me. Yeah, it doesn't really work. Mikako. Kurokawa Mikako? No way. Is there any way? Anyone can see it's pointing at that woman. That's such a crucial clue. Then the culprit is Kurokawa? Nope, because he's attorney. Well, if you think of it normally, it would happen like that. But how did the person write? Something is strange. All the clues say that Mikako Kurokawa is the culprit, so it fits perfectly. There are problems that cannot be solved by saying that that woman is the culprit. Okay. Right now, the message is pointing to a name rather than a password or anything. And you haven't even possessed it. Huh? According to common sense, if you are the culprit, would you leave Maeda Yuki at the crime scene? That I'd erase it. Right? It's strange, but it's so strange. Even if this is the correct answer, there are more than just one or two strange things. Damn, she says, and then she says, yeah, she's trying to break, Mikaru is trying to tell us something. A woman like me I think the investigation is over soon, so let's get started. Let's start the class trial. Let's all gather at the first floor. Door of the courtroom on the first floor. It has finally begun. Now that we are like this, we have no choice but to proceed with the trial and reach a conclusion. This time, since I am partnered with you, I'll help you as much as possible. So please try your best. Is that alone not reassuring enough? Yes, we have passed the class trial several times so far. That is 4 times, actually. There's a 4 there. Let's believe in everyone. Everything will work out somehow. Finding the culprit. Yes, there you are. You're all here. Otori? Why is what? What is it? Come here for a moment. I have something to show you. What are you talking about? We have to go to the courtroom now. Only take a moment. We have to go down to the first floor. Go to the dormitory for a moment. Dormitory, what else are you doing this for? Decided to follow Tori. You looked quite urgent, more urgent than usual. Down towards the dormitory. There, Tori took us. This is Mikako's private room. This is Kurokawa's private room, which was open. Oh, Tori, why on earth were you here? Somehow. How'd you get here or whatever first? You can't enter a person's private room without a key, so how'd you enter Kurokawa's private room? I wondered if... when I had to go to the courtroom, so I decided to stop by my room one last time. What? If Miri... I don't know what Miri means. I'm wondering if Miri would be in the courtroom, so I decided to stop by my room one last time. And there is actually the word Miri in the text, but I don't know what it means. The door to Kurokawa's private room was wide open. The door was open. Excuse me, Kurokawa, but I came in for a moment to see what was going on. I discovered something amazing. Come here. The bed. There are no sheets. No bed sheets? But why only in Kurokawa's room? Cloth hanging from the railing of the ballroom. Of course, was it this bed sheet? What? You noticed it too? I noticed it too. Kurokawa's bed sheets were torn into small pieces and tied together. But why were they using Kurokawa's bed sheets? What can you say? It must be because she's the culprit. This is not a forced use as has been done so far. Or something like this is the most forced so far. What is it if it is not solid evidence? Even like this? This is no longer speculation or anything. This is literally... Mikaru? Get to the freaking courtroom. What are you guys doing? When was the broadcast telling you... Wasn't the broadcast telling you to gather at the courthouse? Taro-san and Kurokawa-san are waiting for you. That was it, huh? I'm just about to go. We were just about to go. I've been seeing you once or twice before, so I guess I can forgive you. If it were the original, you've been executed very quickly. This would have been the original. Victoria, let's go to the court. Because we can't avoid the class trial. Yeah. Everyone is here. It's a little late, but we'll get started right away. Please take the elevator down, like always. By the way, Kinzo is alive but unconscious. We have him special rest for this trial. The number of people will be a little smaller, but try your best. I don't know why I didn't try to want Akuma voice that. Did this mean that so few people, including me, should reveal the truth of the incident? It's gotta be 5, right? Maeda-kun, why on earth were you so late? The same goes for Otori-kun and Rei-chan. I was taking them somewhere. Really? I was really worried about what happened. Mikako-chan didn't say anything. Well, anyway. It's okay because I didn't die. Let's go down slowly. Everyone is ready. Susu slowly. Despacito. Ahead of this trial, which may be the last trial. The last trial. Last trial? Why? Isn't it common? The fifth trial, okay. There is no hope for Kinjo. If we exclude him, the only thing left is to get through this trial. If the number of people decreases to that point, there will be no more murder in trials. As there are few people, it would become difficult to do anything. You have a point, but that's only if we get through this trial safely. Okay, so if we execute one of them, then there are 4, right? And if one of those commits a murder, then there'll be 3. You could still do a trial with 3. Yes, there is a culprit, a 5th culprit among us. It can't end like this, even for this. There are only 5 people in the culprit. I don't know. Something about it can't end like this. For the sake of the children who died so far, or whatever. All we need to know is, let's start slowly and reach the climax. Oh. This may be the last class trial. Mikaru's cry, which I couldn't tell if it was filled with confidence, overlapped with the number of remaining survivals and penetrated my heart even more deeply. I also have to prepare myself. Overcoming the life-threatening class trial. This school. No, to escape this building. To survive and safely see my family again. The truth. To find out. I recorded the lump of flesh in the lab in my notebook. And the gas bullet, the gas bomb, and the dying message. And Kurokawa's private room. I won't be scared or cower anymore because I can't end here without knowing anything. Let's make sure to find the culprit who killed Kisaragi-kun. The culprit is already out there. It's okay, we will not die. Well, one of you is going to. This incident is. I don't like it. Whether it's a trick, evidence, or a criminal. I don't know what that means, but... everyone is ready. Let's go. A silence so heavy that it feels like we will be crushed hovers inside the elevator. Not only are there a lot of tension at the class trial began, but it was also because there's a huge shortage of enemies. Enemies? You mean contestants? Kinjo is still alive, but honestly, he has no hope. Or it's just the fact that I'm alive that gives me hope. Mikaru said this would likely be the last class trial. I really wish that were the case. Due to the nature of this class trial, it means that one person who is hit will not be able to return to the elevator again. But I had no choice but to do it. Ah, Maeda-kun. What'd you say? It's nothing, I'm just talking to myself. Yes, I had no choice but to do it. This is something I've said over and over again since the first time Maki was murdered. I have no choice but to do it. There is nothing. No choice. The elevator stops with a heavy sound, and I step into the classroom for the 5th time. For the hope, something about the hope of surviving. Yeah, you're here. I thought you were gonna die. I was gonna die for exhaustion while waiting. Somehow the atmosphere in this courtroom is becoming more and more colorful. Ah. You have eyes, Shigoto-kun, right? I designed it with extra care this time. Doesn't it make your eyes widen? Akane says, Pakina. Puck means something. Since the number is viewed as small, it would be better to start early. As always, please move to your respective seats. Even though there's only 5 people, the fewer the number, the more interesting the incident becomes. Will the Black End be able to escape successfully this time? Or will help win again? Let's start. The 5th trial begins. The 5th crossroads of death. The victim in this is Kisaragi, the victim of this incident. There is also the Kisaragi Foundation, which has been mentioned several times, but its very existence was ranked as a suspicious, shadowy suspect. But I was thinking differently about Kisaragi. My brain was strange, and he couldn't communicate. His brain was strange, and he couldn't communicate properly. No matter how I look at him, he didn't seem like a villain. If we had talked a little more, I might have been able to know more about him. I can't believe he went away like this in vain. After Kisaragi's appearance, Kurokawa's condition became strange to everyone. Eventually, she emerged as the most likely culprit and is under everyone's suspicion. Whatever the truth is, it will soon be revealed, even if we don't want to know the truth. No, we have to find out. Each person's resolution crosses paths, and the class trial begins. A deadly trial, a deadly lie, a deadly betrayal, a deadly explanation, a deadly excuse, a deadly trust, whatever that means. A deadly risk. These are not making sense. A deadly class trial. There's a deadly deception, a deadly fate, whatever they were supposed to be. Save the game. Whoops. In number 15. And in this thing. I have to go to I'll probably go to Zephyrin build next. Try to go through the daily and deadly life in the Zephyrin build. They'll try to figure out what the solution to this incident is, and then I'll do the trial. It, of course, is obviously very reminiscent of the whole Kirigiri incident from Trigger Happy Havoc. Because similarly, right, Kirigiri gives Byakuya her room key. That allows Byakuya to go into her room, finds under her bed sheets a key to a locker that contains a bundle of arrows that are bloody, that are taped up and bloody, whatever, right? The mastermind hid stuff that would make it look like Kirigiri was the culprit in Kirigiri's room, and that worked because she had given up the key to her room. The whole key thing would have been her undoing should the protagonist do the wrong thing, right? In this case, Kurokawa maybe didn't give up the key to her room. She may have just intentionally left her the room to her door open, which would make a really weird twist. We don't understand why that is. Or Monokuma just opened it as part of his plot. But you similarly have this whole damning thing found in the room itself. And this gets weird in... Like I said a couple episodes ago, this game doesn't really have good analogies, foils, exports from Trigger Happy Havoc to it, but if there are anything, Rei is kind of like Byakuya, and Mikako is like Kirigiri. She is the most parallel to Kirigiri. So... And the parallels to Kirigiri continue. So, it's going to parallel in some way, like what went on with Kirigiri in Chapter 5 of Trigger Happy Havoc, but probably not exactly. There's going to be some kind of variation on it. We'll see what that variation is. Very fascinating. What makes it more difficult is the Trigger Happy Havoc, the victim was actually a reused body, and there was no murder at all. Here, Rei checked all the bodies. None of them had a hole blown out of their chest, and I mean, Kisaragi Yamato, or Yamato Kisaragi, he was not a reused body. He was actually revealed. He was a 16th student, but he was actually revealed as alive. And then was there in the dining room as alive, and he ran out of it. Now, there is maybe a super crazy harebrained thing they can do here. So I thought that perhaps the various Kisaragis, like Hanzo Kisaragi and Yamato Kisaragi, I think there's one before, like Ken Kisaragi or something, I don't know, may have all been the same person. They've not actually been generations, they've not been sons of each other. And that person just doesn't age. Because Monokuma said to the person in the cage that they do not age. Their body does not age. And that's what I thought that meant. And that would be relevant to this trial somehow, right? That has some relevancy. But I don't see how it has relevancy yet. Something different could be done, though. Where actually they are separate people, but they all do not age. They're like clones of each other that don't age. Beyond a certain age, they can look like teenagers. And so you can kill one of them as a decoy for the other. It's like, I have a strong feeling this might actually have to delve into the Kisaragi lore to actually be resolved. And the thing is, we don't know the Kisaragi lore, so it can't be resolved. So if you do like Trigger Happy Havoc and it just doesn't get resolved, then you have to do a new trial to finally finish things off. There's something I'm getting really hung up on, though, is if this is a frame-up job by the mastermind, it's a really bad frame-up job. It's so poorly done. Because Mikako wouldn't have had time to do all of this. And why would she be holding a knife that was clean? That's, the setup is just not done correctly. It's done so poorly. Well, I'll stop here and I'll think about it.